Hallo und herzlich willkommen in diesem Video von den wunderschönen Malediven. Genauer gesagt von der Insel Dhigurah. Das ist jetzt auch das erste Video, in dem ich mich mal zu Wort melde und etwas sage. Schauen wir mal, ob das was wird, ob es euch gefällt. Vielleicht kann man es ja dann noch einmal machen, so Travel-Vlog mäßig. Malediven in günstig. Geht das überhaupt? Jetzt ist günstig so ein relativer Begriff und bedeutet für jeden etwas anderes. Aber mein Gedanke war, euch anhand von meiner Reise ganz spezifisch allem, was ich gemacht habe, aufzuzeigen, was das so gekostet hat, was man machen kann und ob das vielleicht dann auch was für euch ist. Dann könnt ihr euch eure eigene Meinung bilden. Aber jetzt genießt erstmal ein paar Ausblicke auf dieses Paradies auf Erden.
The Maldives have always been a dream destination of mine, but felt unreachable simply because I thought it was way too expensive. And that might be the case if you only limit yourself to luxury resort islands. So I consciously chose a local island, Dhigurah, and the whole vacation was a package trip. Just to cover all eventualities like problems with flights and transfers. And in the end that paid off pretty well and has been the right decision. More on that later. In this package trip, train to flight was included. I had to go from Nuremberg to Frankfurt and flew from there with Gulf Air via Bahrain to Male. The single flights took 5 to 6 hours each, plus the several hours of layovers at the airports. At Gulf Air there was free Wi-Fi, good food and okay on-board entertainment, so nothing to complain about. At the airport in Bahrain I spent $18 in total for 2 drinks and 2 meals at the outbound and return flight layover. Once you have arrived at the airport, the temperatures and humidity really knocks you off your feet. There's not much to do in sea there, and since I still had almost 5 hours until the speedboat pickup, I stayed at the airport area and went outside to relax a bit. The beverage prices at the airport are $2 for a water and $3 for a soft drink. I spent a total of $7 on arrival and departure for beverages and another $17 at Burger King. After another 2.5 hours on a quite bumpy speedboat ride, and after a total of 30 hours of travel time, I arrived at a great hotel, the Dhigurah. Before I show you the hotel, I first have some information about the vacation price. I paid 1,259 euros with TUI for this package trip, and if I had booked it all on my own I might have saved a buck or two, but as mentioned earlier, the package trip has been a real advantage, because I had various flight changes and in the end it would not have fitted anymore with the time slot for the boat transfer. Originally I would have traveled with Etihad, but they changed the flight 3 times, and only due to the package trip I was able to rebook to Gulf Air without any additional charges. The hotel opened in 2018 and is very modern and stylish. It was all in good shape and clean, housekeeping cleaned daily and the service was great. The staff is very friendly and accommodating. I only booked with breakfast, but you could also choose half-board or full-board options for a surcharge. The selection at the buffet was okay and of good quality. The hotel also has an attached restaurant, where guests who are not actually staying there can also eat. I had dinner there twice, the first one for $29 and the second one for $15, but these meals were rather mediocre though. Most of the time I was self-sufficient anyway, but more on that later. The hotel also offers bicycles for rent. Their quality was poor and the brakes were more for show than actually functioning. But you can go fast anyway, and we're on vacation and not on the run, right? I can recommend renting a bike because the island itself is 3.5 kilometers long, and the driving distance from the hotel to the sandbank alone is about 2.5 kilometers. In this time lapse you can see that the path is going on quite long, but it is certainly a beautiful one. Everywhere, left and right along the path, there are small, partly hidden entrances which lead to the beaches, where you can find private spaces and you can get the feeling that the whole island belongs to you. And here's some thoughts of mine about renting a bicycle live from the island.
Das ist schon ein ganz schöner Weg. Das unterschätzt man leicht, denke ich. Es ist alles gehbar. Aber das braucht doch seine Zeit. Und das bei über 30 Grad und einer hohen Luftfeuchtigkeit. Nicht für jeden was. Also die Investition für so ein Fahrrad hat sich wirklich gelohnt. Muss ich echt sagen. Eigentlich $7 am Tag. Ein bisschen verhandeln, waren es dann noch $5 am Tag. Also auf meine 6 Tage $30. Und ich benutze es jeden Tag. So kommt man sehr schnell von A nach B, was bei so einer großen Insel wirklich ein Vorteil ist.
So, what are the activities and things you can do in the Maldives and especially on this island? I think everyone who thinks about Maldives as a travel destination will have certain ideas and thoughts of what is important to him or her. For me personally, the beautiful nature, white sand beaches, blue water and the palm trees are major reasons. And that's what this island is all about. I wanted to go to an island that is relatively large and offers a lot of the beautiful water, the beaches and the palm trees. Compared to many all-inclusive resort islands, which are quite small, you don't sit on top of each other with all the other tourists. But as already mentioned, you most of the time get the feeling that you are Robinson Crusoe and alone on the island. Another feature for which the Maldives are famous is of course the beautiful underwater world. If you, like me, only do snorkeling, you will find various beautiful spots in the shallow water where the colors are still intact and a lot of fish and even some turtles can be found. On the edge of the reef, of course there's a lot of more to see. I booked an excursion here, I will tell you more about it soon. But before I tell you more about beautiful things, I want to address something that concerns me a lot and about which I'm quite conflicted. It's about waste and the effect of humans on nature. As you can see in the following pictures, not everything is good and rosy. Many places on the island are heavily littered. Where does this garbage come from? Do islanders leave it all here? Is it washed up? Or do all the tourists just throw it on the ground? I don't know, but in the end, it's the sad reality and the matter of fact. It pollutes the nature. I don't want to be moral here and raise my finger after I had to take 4 long-haul flights just to get here and therefore certainly did no service and good to the nature. But we should be aware of the situation and think about it. I don't know what the island looked like 5 years ago, neither do I know what it will look like 5 years from now, but based on the strong construction activity I witnessed, with many new hotels and guest houses being built, I guess today's tranquil paradise will be a lot of more touristy in the future. I can say who will benefit the most from it in the end, whether foreign investors or locals. But who will blame them? In the end, tourists bring money, and there are not many business opportunities in this area. Let's go to the underwater activities. I booked a trip here. Actually, it should have been a whale shark tour. Unfortunately, we did not see any whale sharks, but we stopped at 2 very nice snorkeling spots and found many manta rays, like 15 animals or so, which was absolutely majestic. You will see the pictures right away. The trip cost me $85 including taxes. I only had my snorkel and diving goggles with me. I had to rent the fins, and that's why it was $5 extra. Always be careful in the Maldives with the prices. In restaurants and the excursions and things you buy at the stores, a tax will be added on top. Here are some pictures of the beautiful and majestic manta rays. Even if we did not see any whale shark, seeing these manta rays made up for it, and I will forever remember this. The whole trip lasted almost 5 hours, and drinks and snacks were included. And now some general information. Everywhere on the island there are areas with no bikini zones. However, I have to say that on the one hand nobody followed these rules, and on the other there was nobody there who would have seriously enforced it. But respect should call for it to be obeyed, I guess. I visited the Maldives in May. That's the beginning of the rainy season, and you can sometimes have a few days where the weather is mixed. As you can see, I found myself in quite a storm once. However, that was pretty interesting, and the water was much warmer in the ocean than outside at this time. Regarding self-sufficiency, there are several small shops in the village, and this is what a normal purchase I made looked like. I went shopping 4 times and paid a total of $56. And now finally the total cost breakdown. I paid slightly less than $1,700 for just under a week in the Maldives. And now that you know what I got for it, you can decide for yourself whether this was cheap or expensive, and whether such a holiday would be something for you as well. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it. I will say goodbye for now with a few more pictures of beautiful sunsets. See you next time.